Hello everyone, welcome to Accounting 312. In this video, we will continue with chapter 21, which is a very important chapter, capital budgeting and then cost analysis. So before we go to the new part, I want to have a quick review with you what we have learned in the previous chapters. So basically we said for the first part, capital budgeting is we want to learn how to spend the money wisely, right? You have $1 million, which project should you invest? And then in order to get that, there are 4 methods. The first 2 based on the same technique, we call it discounted cash flow. So hear me, right? Discounted cash flow. So they focus on cash flow, but we discount them back. And then the third one is what we are talking about today. It's an easy one. Don't worry about that one. The fourth one we will talk about next video is a little bit tricky. It's a accounting-based rate. So the first 2, as I say, they are kind of cousins. They based on the same discounted cash flow assumption. Then the first one is the big brother, the main one, net present value. Hear me, net present value. Okay, net present value. And then the second one, we call it internal rate of return. Internal rate of return. So some students emailed me about a question. So I let you do the homework about net present value. Some students emailed me how do we work on case 2? They said, hey, they watched the video, they follow case 1, but they didn't get the answer. I will post my note later, but general idea is case one is that you just get one time, right? You just have one time. Case 2, the key word is every year, the net cash saving will be how much? Every year. So when I say every year, what do you hear from me? Every year. It's annuity. It's annuity. So we have to use table 4. So make sure you use table 4. Make sure you use table 4. So the discounting factor is 5 years, rate is 8. 5 years, rate is 8. 5 years, rate is 3.993. So every year means it's annuity. Every year means you use table 4. If it's just 1 year, you use table 2. Okay. Haven't got any comments for IRR, so I'm waiting for your comments. If you have any questions, just let me know. But today we will do our third one called payback method. I'm on page 6. Oh, I forgot this one. Sorry. We still have a little bit part of we didn't finish called sensitivity analysis. Is what if? What's the minimum annual cash flow that make the investment in the new hybrid acceptable? I put this in assignment. I didn't hear any complaint or question, so I assume you know. But let me just point out the importance of this type of question. Continue with the hybrid bus. Net initial investment is this, useful life is this, and no residual. The RRR is 8%. So asking about minimal annual cash flow make the investment to be acceptable. To be acceptable means NPV is at least 0, right? So let's put the equation there, set up the equation there. Initial investment is 6 for 900. Outflow, I'll just put negative there. And then we said every year you get the annual cash inflow. So if nothing said, you just assume it's the even number. We don't know what is the cash flow. You know, your math teacher told you if you don't know anything, you put it as X, right? I don't know, but I know I need to discount it back based on table 4. So discount factor, 5 years, 8%, 3.993, 3.993, and I know my NPV has to be 0. My NPV has to be 0. So if I do the math, sorry, I just use my phone. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. So basically, it's 6 for 8,900 divided by 3.993. I got the number every year the minimum cash flow is 162509. You can put a 0.39, but it all depends on you. Okay, so that is your annual cash inflow for every year. Every year, at least to be this much so that you can accept it. Remember, we said for our real case, every year we got 180 actually. So that's the reason our NPV is positive instead of 0. We got a little more money every year, so our NPV is positive. So what I want to point out here is, okay, what I want to point here is very important, is for the NPV, general idea one more time, is your net present value. So your initial investment, right? So I put investment. Your initial investment is outflow, it's negative. We plus all the future value, all of your cash inflow, right? Your cash inflow, and we time the discount factor. Most likely, I would say, use the table 4. Most likely, the project lasts for more than 1 year, but you have to read the question. But general idea is, and then that will be your NPV, right? That will be your NPV. So look at this equation. Look at this equation. Whenever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factors, 1, 2, 3, 4 factors. Whenever I give you 3 factors, you have to tell me the 4th one. You say, hey, professor, what's the meaning? We have learned how to do the NPV, right? So the first way I ask you is, I tell you the initial investment, I tell you every year cash flow, I tell you the discount factor, I'll ask you, hey, what's the NPV? You already did that. Second way, I can ask you, hey, what is the cash flow? What is the future? I shouldn't say future value. Let me change it to cash flow. Sorry. I will say, hey, what is the cash flow, right? I will say, what is the cash inflow? Hey, I told you initial investment, I told you factor, I told you your NPV has to be 0 because you want to accept it, and then you calculate the cash flow. Ta-da, you did this. Third way, we didn't put it here, but I believe in the assignment you had that. I said, hey, what is the initial investment? What is the initial investment? Remember, initial investment is negative. What is the initial investment? Okay, you said, okay, cash flow, I told you cash flow, I told you discount factor, I told you NPV, your target NPV is that much. I'll ask you, hey, what is your initial investment? What is your initial investment, right? What is your initial investment? You have to answer that question. Fourth one, I told you your investment, I tell you cash flow, I tell you your NPV. I ask you, what is the IRR? What is the IRR, which is the discount factor when NPV equals to 0? So your NPV will be 0, you have initial investment, you have cash flow, you look up to find out the discount factor, you decide the IRR. Okay, so this equation basically covers all of the possible calculation, most of the possible calculation for the NPV part and for the IRR part, our 70–80%. Okay, so in this video, I tried to talk about payback method, but I think I stop here. As I said, I don't want to make too long video. But we go to find out the payback method. It's very straightforward. I just want to ask you a question. Let's say I lended you out $100, and then you pay me $20 every year. My question: how many years it takes to get all my money back? That is payback method. That is payback method. Okay, I see you next video, my good students. Bye. Let me know if you have any question.